Hi guys, it's Lynn. Was I one of the chumps still watching the MacGyver reboot in 2021? Yes, I was. I was definitely keeping up with it. I may not have been enjoying it very much, but I was forcing myself to hang on to the series like a begrudging masochist. A part of me was still holding on to the hope that the writers would finally end our suffering by letting the dorky smart guy end up with the techie smart girl. But alas, their romantic journey never came to fruition, and honestly, I'm glad that the show was never renewed for season 6, because y'all can't just dangle the possibility of these two taking the leap of faith for the entirety of season 4 and 5 in the most unnatural way possible, all in the attempt of extending the show's runtime. So let's get into it. How MacGyver fell into the trap of the longer it runs, the worse the show gets, and how season 5 episode 12 served as a solid reminder of how good season 3 episode 14 was. Episode 12 of the MacGyver's final season focused on Desi and Mac's confusing relationship as half of the Phoenix team attended a wedding. Their mission? Protect the bride. And that's about it. Don't blame me for not remembering the details or not caring enough to, because it didn't seem like the MacGyver writers had given it much thought either. Instead, most of the episode's events focused on a relationship that couldn't have made less sense. While the episode attempted to convince viewers that Desi and Mac's relationship was still alive and well, it effectively served as a solid reminder of how good the series used to be. Considering how similar this mission brief was to the one featured in episode 14 of this series' 3rd season, I couldn't help but miss what we used to have with this show. The 14th episode of MacGyver's 3rd year was a bittersweet one. That episode bid farewell to Jack and fed Mac Riley fans more quality scenes than their hearts could handle, all the while ensuring that the mission's plot remained engaging. The Phoenix squad didn't split up, all agents attended the wedding, and they executed the mission as a team. Alonzo is a wanted crime boss that's been able to evade doing time. Maddie has been waiting for her big chance to bring him to justice for years, and she's surprised that he meets up with her and offers to surrender. Alonzo agrees to hand over all information about his business and accept jail time in exchange for being able to attend his daughter's wedding in peace. With this agreement in place, Maddie requests the team to dress up, attend as guests, and keep tabs on Alonzo's every move. While Boza's crying throughout the ceremony, Riley can't help but notice that Mac keeps stealing glances at her father figure, Jack. After the ceremony, while everyone's dancing and enjoying the catering, the Phoenix team still have their eyes on the wanted criminal. However, their mission goes awry when terrorists crash the wedding to kidnap Alonzo. So many things happened in that episode. However, the scriptwriters at the time were able to evenly distribute everything, and nothing felt out of place. They covered Jack's departure, handled the mission, shone light on Mac and Riley's relationship, gave Boza his badass moment, and ensured that the mission stayed on course with Maddie as the glue. Throughout those 40 or so minutes, viewers were kept on their toes as they discovered the death of Alonzo and witnessed the near death of Riley. The first few seasons of the show never really focused on the agents' relationships. Sure, there were a handful of moments that covered their dating life, but those eventually tied into their missions. For example, Jack dated a thief, Mac was backstabbed by Nikki, Boza teamed up with Liana, Maddie had to find a new home for her former husband, plus his new family, and Riley began dating Billy, the bounty hunter. Honestly, splitting up the team in season 5 episode 12 was the only way for the screenwriters to keep Mac and Riley apart. That's the only reason why Russ, Mac, and Desi were the only ones invited to the wedding. Unfortunately, at this point, the series wasn't about crazy missions or science anymore. Instead of Mac's usual lengthy explanations that we get whenever he messes with the elements, viewers don't receive any scientific information as the agents around him, it's usually Desi or Russ, cut him off, telling him to just do his thing. When season 5 episode 12 wasn't fixating on Mac and Desi's melodramatic relationship, we were met with Russ's backstabbing lover. I'd love to explain their relationship, but I'm afraid that it's not very interesting, nor does it make a lot of sense. And frankly, I didn't really care about it. Russ's constant fixation with codex and haughty attitude never sat right with me, so some female character whom we never really got to know shattered his heart. Boo-hoo, maybe he shouldn't have been so prepared to fire a missile at both Mac and Riley. Then perhaps I'd care about his quarantine date mate stealing his life's work. To be clear, the scriptwriters expected viewers to be invested in Russ's affairs within a single episode. The quarantine episode simultaneously introduced his research, his romantic interest, and how it all led to him being exploited. Were we legitimately meant to care? When did rushing your audience ever lead to convincing scripts? Season 5, episode 12 expected to entertain us as it forced us to juggle the unfathomable mess that is Russ's love life, plus Mac and Desi's toxic mess of a relationship. If the constant blame games, secrets, and lies weren't enough for everyone to seriously doubt this pairing, this episode certainly made things clear. Not only did Desi summarize her past 3 years as Mac's girlfriend as barely dating, but she finally turned down his proposal by blurting out that her last fiancé died. Where did this come from? Did the writers even care if this made any sense? Did I tune into some daytime soap opera? Why was this necessary? Of course, I'd be able to understand if the sudden reveal was supposed to tear the two apart. Maybe the writers were backed into a wall and they had no idea how to end Mac and Desi's barely dating relationship. Although it'd be pretty unbelievable that they'd have that much trouble terminating it, considering that they've had more than 2 seasons worth of opportunities to do so. However, that really wasn't the case. I had no idea what the scriptwriters were trying to achieve with this reveal. Despite Desi blatantly stating that her love for Mac essentially equated to her using him as a substitute for her dead fiancé, there was still no sign of a breakup. Mac, the broken man who has never been able to catch a break around Desi, instantly accepts it, and Desi lets him. That's it. That's the end of the episode. Both of them will continue with this toxicity, and we're supposed to support it. In contrast, I miss the subtleties of Season 3, Episode 14. Mac and Riley's love required no words. It didn't completely overshadow the episode's overall plot, it simply existed. It was there for us to perceive and silently enjoy. Instead of cutting Mac's lengthy explanation short, Riley lets him say his piece before paraphrasing everything for Alonzo. It means physics is awesome.
It means physics is awesome.
From Riley's unwavering trust in all of Mac's actions to Mac insisting that only his blood could save Riley's life, we didn't need any talks of love. It wasn't just their mission that showcased their affections. Riley was always capable of reading Mac's demeanor, which showed when she questioned both Mac and Jack on their curious conduct. While Season 5 Episode 12 still exists as a perfect example of how far the series had fallen, it simultaneously allowed us to appreciate what we used to have with the show. And that was why I continued to watch MacGyver's 5th and final season till its bitter end.